Max Holloway comments on Ilia Topuria, how the viral knockout of Gane changed his life, and his attempt to reclaim the featherweight title on UFC 308. The former featherweight and the reigning BMF champion revealed a conversation with Dana White following the epic last moments of his fight against the Highlight and shared thoughts on being elevated to a higher position of fame. Max also spoke about Ilia Topuria's personality, which he finds odd. When asked if the fight is personal for him or not, which is a popular question among reporters to ask fighters when there is even minimal degree of trash talk between two sides, Max was surprised, not even understanding how someone could come up with such a conclusion. In this case, the question was valid though, as Max has made multiple comments after getting irritated at Ilia claiming that he's trying to duck him and he's afraid of the fight. Anyway, in the latest interview, the Hawaiian kickboxer previewed the Topuria matchup and gave an honest assessment of his opponent's skill set.
Dana White literally pulled me when I was walking out of the cage, and we was in the back in the locker rooms. He pulled me into one room. He pulled me and my wife, and he was like, "Kid, you have no idea how much your life is gonna change, man. Just watch." And he was right. He was right. It's crazy, you know. Moments like that, you know. If we can't live forever, but you want to make moments that can live forever. And
what do you make of Ilia Topuria? Can you get a read on him?
I mean, I don't know. The honest question is, I can't, you know. He's an odd fella, I would say, you know.
There's this suggestion almost that he has gotten under your skin in some way, like just by being him, you know, as you mentioned. But there's no truth to that.
No, why? What showed, or what did I say, or what did I do to show that he's under my skin? That's news to me. That's funny.
MERAB Dvalishvili's coach, Ray Longo, gets honest on Sean O'Malley as a former champion, stating that he really wasn't tested against high-level opposition with ability to wrestle before facing off against MERAB and losing his title. Ray believes that most people Sean had fought before MERAB stood in front of him with their hands down, serving as punching bags for him, while simultaneously being unable to create grappling exchanges and gain the upper hand while doing so. Ray also touched on the issue of MERAB's first title defense and their preferred next opponent. Longo acknowledges that UFC will most likely push for the Umar fight, something that neither he nor MERAB are happy about, and instead calls for a fight against Deiveson Figueiredo, who he feels is more deserving of a title shot than Khabib's cousin. It's safe to say MERAB's camp doesn't approve of UFC's strategy to push the undefeated bantamweight contender with the same last name as Khabib toward championship fight as soon as possible, but that is likely what's going to happen.
Who did he ever fight? You know, Petey Jan fight, people think, that was a great fight, but people think Jan won the fight. The other fights were, you know, they were good. He's starching guys, but they're standing right in front of him with their hands at their ass. You're going to let a sniper. So
you felt he really was untested against a really high-level grappler. You felt like he 100%. Anybody like MERAB, yeah.
100%. I'm not, and again, MERAB hasn't faced anybody as rangy and as long and as accurate as O'Malley, but fucking Jose Aldo's pretty fucking good, man. You know, it's close enough, you know. So he did fight some good guys that he shut down. And
Umar Nurmagomedov, you think that's going to be the fight next?
I'm going to say that's the fight they're going to push next, but I would give Figueiredo the fight before Umar at this point.
Daniel Cormier gets amused by Chael Sonnen's assumption that Tom Aspinall will fight either Stipe or Jones in case one of them pulls out their 309 clash, after Dana White confirmed that Tom Aspinall will serve as the backup fighter for John and Stipe. Chael and DC spoke about the possibility of John or Stipe getting injured and what it would mean in relation to Tom Aspinall. Daniel couldn't believe how Chael assumed that the fighter that's been confirmed as a backup for UFC 309 headliner will actually be the one replacing one of two in case they get injured. DC's realistic approach might kill Aspinall's and his fans' hopes to see the John Jones fight in case something happens to Stipe that forces him to pull out of the fight, but it is definitely valid. With the stakes that Jones is playing with, he most likely wouldn't accept a short notice replacement, something that can also be said about Stipe, whose only reason for not retiring is to share the cage with John Jones. Here's what DC and Chael said.
It's not even about being scared. It's about risk management, Chael.
Sure.
If someone gets hurt in this fight, the reward versus the risk of fighting Tom Aspinall is so great, I don't believe that either of them will do it. You learn to expect disappointment. You learn to be let down. That is just the way it is. So guess what, Chael? Now you have an opportunity to be let down. So step into my shoes once. If one of those dudes get hurt, neither one of them is fighting Tom Aspinall.
Really?
You're out of your mind. No way.
Really?
No way. When John Jones got hurt the first time, Sergey Pavlovich was the backup fighter. Who fought? Who fought?
Well, I understand that. But
if somebody gets hurt, get ready for Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane.
Really?
Mark my words. There you go.
Belal Muhammad comments on the uncertainty at the top of the welterweight division and who his next challenger will be. The newly crowned welterweight champion has yet to defend his title, and because of the scarcity of big names with winning streaks in the division, UFC's been having a hard time trying to find the most fitting option for Muhammad's first title defense. If it's a main event, which welterweight title fights mostly are, UFC will most likely try to avoid Muhammad versus Shavkat Rakhmonov, as it doesn't translate to the casual fandom given obvious reasons. Usman's on a 3-fight losing skid, Colby on a 2, Ian Gary isn't ready, and Jack Della is injured. So it's safe to say Dana and his matchmakers will have some difficult decisions to make pretty soon. Belal speaks about the uncertainty of his next fight and how this affects his preparations for the training camp he will have to go through when the opponent and the date get announced.
Right now, I have the target on my back, right? Because before it was always, well, Usman's the champion, so I'm breaking down Usman the whole time. For me now, it's like, we don't know who's going to be next, so we're watching everybody. And I love watching fights, even though I'm doing cardio or something. So I'm watching all these guys. So when I do get the call, I'll have an idea of what we're going to do and what we're going to break down with it. But yeah, when I look at any of these guys, there's not really a specialist in the group, right? There's not like a Damian Maia where I got to work super hard on this jiu-jitsu. Most of all these guys are pretty well-rounded and pretty striking heavy. There's not a guy in there where I'm looking at like, I got to start wrestling super hard for this one guy because his wrestling's really good or his grappling's really good. I think I'm pretty much better than the rest of the guys that I'm probably going to fight on all aspects. So now it's just about getting better myself, sharpening myself, and just coming out with a new version of myself. Because now people watch that Leon Edwards fight, they see the pressure. Now I got to show them something else next one.